Will you pray with me? Gracious God, we gather from places near and far to hear your word, to feel your Spirit. Move among us in each and every home. Move us among us as we gather. And help us to hear your word this day. We pray in your Son's name. Amen. I don't know about you, but I sympathize with the dry bones this morning. After nearly 2 weeks of social distancing, with my kids home now for 2 weeks plus, my bones are dry. After nearly 2 weeks of trying to do it all, work, parenting, house cleaning, schoolwork for e-learning, and occasionally even playing with my kids, etc., my bones are dry. After nearly 2 weeks of fearing each day's news will be worse than the day before, and too often being right in that fear. After nearly 2 weeks of all of this that we have been going through, my bones are dry. I can sympathize with the dried bones, and I suspect that many of you feel the same way. Maybe you're members of the medical field, on the front lines in this crisis, and you have seen up close what the rest of us only hear about. Maybe you're a person missing a parent or a sibling or a child or grandchild, because right now you can only connect with them safely through the phone. And that separation is a kind of loss. Maybe you're grieving a more recent loss, a more permanent one, due to illness or age or an accident. Or you fear that loss might be coming. And the pain of missing your loved one is almost too much to bear. Many of us have moments of dried bones. I do. I suspect you do. We have moments where we feel dry and worn out, where we find ourselves crying with Ezekiel, "Can these bones live? Can these bones, our bones, us, live? Can they live in the face of so much sorrow and pain? Can they live when we don't know what tomorrow will bring or how long this social distancing will last? Can they live? Can these bones live? Can we live?" That's the question asked of Ezekiel by God. The question perhaps that we are asking this day, that I am asking this day. That maybe you are asking this day. And to that question, God says yes. Prophesy to the bones, God commands Ezekiel. Prophesy to them to become bodies again. To connect bone to bone, sinew to sinew, flesh to flesh. And then prophesy to the Spirit. Tell the breath. Tell it to breathe, to fill what was once dead bones. To move and breathe and flow. To work in lungs, to breathe, bring life again. Prophesy, God commands Ezekiel. For even what feels like dead bones can yet live again. Even the exiles of Israel, weary in Babylon, can live and be renewed. Even the exiles, social distancing in their homes, can live, be renewed. Prophesy, God says, for these bones will live again. And Ezekiel does, and they do. We do. Friends, this is not God being subtle. This is God saying to ancient Judah, to us, "Look, I know things are bad right now. Look, I know life feels messy and topsy-turvy and unsettled. I know some things are flat out terrible. But I, God, am with you. I, God, will bring you life. For even dead bones can live when God gives them life. And even you, ancient Judah, even you, modern Batesville, can live, can receive new life. For God has not and will not abandon us. For God has plans for us and a future for us. Can these bones live? Can we live? Yes. Yes, we can, for this is not the end of the story. The exile of ancient Judah does not last forever and ever, but comes to an end. Our time of social distancing, our time of anxiety and fear will come to an end. These bones can and will and do live, for the future is assured with God. New life is coming. New life is here. Friends, in these challenging moments, I bring a word of hope from our scriptures and from our life. These bones that are us can live. And in fact, not only can these bones live, can we live, but we already are. Because resurrection, like occurred to the bones, like occurs to Lazarus, is happening each and every day, even now, before this crisis ends. Don't believe me? Well, consider this. Yes, in this time of crisis, some people are showing the worst sides. People are hoarding. People think are only about themselves. People are getting crabby. Well, many of us are getting crabby, but it happens. But more, many, many more, are finding ways to show love. Celebrities are reading books online for children. Josh Gad has an online bedtime story. That's the person who plays Olaf the Snowman. You want to watch it sometime. Others are sharing art and music. YouTube videos are posted constantly. We try to bring light and hope. The Rosie O'Donnell Show made a one-time reappearance last week to raise charity funds for people who are out of work, and had an all-star cast of Broadway names performing from their houses on it. Both the Indianapolis and Cincinnati zoos are showing regular videos of animals so that kids who are stuck at home can still visit the zoo, can still learn about animals. Museums are releasing movies or online tours of the museum so that kids and even adults can be educated and entertained and find joy. And so on, and so on, and so on. There really is quite a long list. In the face of the crisis, we are sharing art and music and our best selves. These once dead bones are living. Still not convinced? Well, let me tell you about a girl named Coco. She had her last cancer treatment this past week. And of course, there was no party to celebrate because of social distancing. So on her way home, her whole neighborhood got into their cars and lined the street to her house to welcome her home. Sign after sign shouted welcome of at least 6 feet apart after shouting welcome. All to celebrate one of their own, the only way they could right now. These once dead bones are living. By the way, that video I shared it from my personal YouTube account if you want to watch it. It'll make you cry, but it's worth watching. And these are only a few examples. There are others. From companies working to produce needed medical equipment, including our own Hillrun right here in Batesville, or the home sewers finding patterns online to make masks out of all sorts of fabric, to folk singing together from their windows on the streets in Italy and our own cities, or giving applause to medical workers at the shift change in Atlanta. From younger, slightly less at-risk people getting groceries for the elderly, to the multiple people, especially early in the outbreak, who visited their parents at nursing homes using windows and cell phones. For folks working on the front lines to keep us healthy in all the many parts of the medical field, to the people working on the front lines to keep us fed, as farmers, drivers, grocery store clerks, and more. These once dead bones are living. The signs have been there all along. These bones can live. We can live. And we are. We may have moments we feel all dried up, and maybe several moments in the next few weeks. But our God is the God of resurrection and new life. Our God is one who brings dried up bones back to life, who raised Lazarus from the grave, who gives us new life and resurrection moments even now in the middle of a crisis, and who will carry us through. Friends, we have not been abandoned or forgotten. God has claimed us and said to us, "You are mine." God has said to us, "I am with you." And because of this amazing promise, we can trust that yes, these bones can live. In these moments where you feel dried out, cling to that hope. For surely I tell you, in these moments when I feel dried out, I am clinging to that hope. These bones, our bones, us, they can live. Thanks be to God. Amen. Our song